Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to begin with chapter 12 of class 8th Nagaland Board grammar book, which is phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions. Now, as we had done in chapter number 11, where we learnt about homophones, homographs, homonyms, then we also learnt about the words that often confuse, synonyms and antonyms, and the chapter number 11 catered to enhancing your vocabulary. Similar is the objective of chapter 12 as well. Phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions are going to help you to enhance your spoken and written English, and that is the reason why they are a part of your curriculum, why they are a part of your syllabus. So we shall first learn about some phrasal verbs, their meanings as well as the sentences, and then we'll move on to some idioms. Okay? So let us move. So to the first phrasal verb, which is back out. So what do we mean by backing out? To withdraw from some promise that has been made. Never back out of your promise. One should never take a back step. Back up is to support something or to sustain something. For example, the workers were backed up by their union to fight for their rights. So the workers were supported by their union. Bear out. Bear out again means to support something or to confirm something. For example, the evidence does not bear out the charge against him. The evidence which has been provided does not confirm or does not support the charge, the blame, the accusation that has been made onto him. Beat back is to force to withdraw. So force somebody to withdraw is beat back. The demonstrators were beaten back by the police force. So the demonstrators were forced by the police to withdraw. The next word is breakdown. Breakdown is of a car or of a machinery. You know, your car breaks down. Her car broke down due to the rough road. So the car stopped functioning or it stopped working because of the rough road. To bring out something means to reveal something clearly. That is to bring out something. These facts clearly bring out the merits of the policy. So these facts clearly reveal the merits, the advantages of the policy. Call back is to telephone somebody again. So could you call back tomorrow, please? Could you telephone tomorrow, please? Call off is to cancel something. Since the workers' demands have been met, they have called off the strike. So they have cancelled the strike now. Call upon. To call upon somebody means to appear or to require something. I was unfortunately called upon to give evidence against my immediate neighbor. So I was asked to appear so that I could give an evidence against my neighbor. Carry on means to continue with something. If you carry on working hard, your business will soon flourish. So if you continue to work hard, your business will flourish. Carry out means to put something into action. He did not carry out my instructions satisfactorily. So he did not put my instructions properly into actions. Cast aside is to reject something. All the other considerations were cast aside by the head of the family. So the considerations, whatever were made, were cast aside, were rejected by the family. Catch up is to hurry up or join. So hurry up or join. You may go ahead. I will catch up with you soon. So you continue and I will meet you. I will join you as soon as I can. Come across is to meet something by chance. In the bus, I came across an old school friend of mine. So I coincidentally met an old school friend of mine. Cut down is to reduce. She is taking some efficient steps to cut down the electricity expenditure, to reduce, to bring down the electricity expenditure. Cut out means to design for something. You seem to be cut out to be an engineer. Your personality is, it actually makes you become an engineer. Drop in is to visit somebody casually, without any purpose, without any reason, just visiting somebody. Why don't you drop in at my place sometime? So why don't you just come by? Eat out is to eat out in a restaurant. Today, let's eat out for a change. Let's go out in a restaurant for change. To fill in means to complete a form. So to complete a form, please fill in your application form. Please complete your application form. Get off is to leave for a bus, to leave. I get off at clock tower and walk to my shop. So when you come down or when you leave a bus, that is when we use the phrasal verb get off. So I got off or I get off at the clock tower and then I walk to my shop. Get through something is to get success in some examination. He got through the IES entrance test. So he got success in the IES entrance test. Get up is to rise from the bed. I usually get up at 6 a.m. and go for a morning walk. Give up is to stop trying something. Since seeing the tough competition, I gave up the idea. I stopped going towards the idea. I stopped pursuing the idea. Hold on is to wait, or particularly, when you are on a phone, you usually say, please hold on and I am going to call my father in a second. Keep up is to continue. You should keep up your hobby for writing poems. So continue your hobby for writing poems. To look at something is examine something very carefully. Reena looked at the flowers at the florist's before buying a bouquet. So to examine something very carefully, we use the phrasal verb looked at. To look for something means to seek something, to search for something. So if we say that Mr. Akash has been looking for an experienced CA for his firm, that means he's searching for an experienced CA for his firm. To look forward to means to wait for something with pleasure. I am looking forward to my elder brother's marriage. To wait for somebody or something. To put up is to stay. Where are you putting up these days? Where are you staying these days? Run out is to come to an end. Okay? The supplies of grains are sure to run out. For example, these days, owing to the COVID pandemic, we can say that the oxygen supplies are running out. Yes? To run out of means when something is coming to an end, when you have very less of something. I am running out of time. That means my time is ticking. The clock is ticking and I have very less time with myself. To see off is to go with somebody to station, airport, etc. They were already there to see us off at the airport. So, to see somebody off at the airport is to see off. See through is to comprehend, to understand something. Nobody can easily see through his clever tricks. Nobody can understand his clever tricks. Wear out is to be old or unusable. My shoes have worn out, my old car has worn out. So something which becomes old and is not usable. So these were a few phrasal verbs that you need to learn so that you may use them when writing your answers or when speaking in order to make, yourself, your points look very valid and full of impact. Now let us discuss some idioms. Above board means to be honest and to be frank. All the directors of this film are above board. They are very honest and frank. Add fuel to the fire means to add to somebody's anger. The arrest of the union leaders added fuel to the fire. It made the people even more angry. Bear in mind is to remember. Always bear in mind that God helps those who help themselves. So always remember this. Beast of burden is the one who carries a lot of load, okay, physically. Camels, donkeys, horses, these are all the beasts of burden because physically they are made to carry a lot of load on their back. Beat about the bush is to, talk about a subject in roundabout way. Rather than directly talking about the same, you are talking about it endlessly in multiple ways. So that is beating about the bush. Come to the point, it is no use beating about the bush. A bird's eye view means a cursory glance. A cursory glance means looking at a place just like a bird, from the top, an overall picture of something. We had a bird's eye view of the city from Qutub Minar. So Qutub Minar being at a height, if you look at the city, you can imagine. You will see the whole of it, but how small, tiny it will seem. Birds of a feather means people of the similar character. So this is again, a proverb. Birds of feather flock together. So people of same character, they're always found together. Break the ice is to break the silence. When all were quiet, I broke the ice by talking on the kidnapping case. So everybody was quiet, nobody was speaking. I spoke first. Break the news is to convey some disagreeable news, some news which is not good, sad, bad. I broke the news of Mona's accident to her fiance to convey to somebody a bad news. Bring to light is to reveal something. The dacoit's arrest has brought many new facts to light. So, the arrest of the dacoits has actually revealed a lot of things about the country or the city, let's say. Blow hot and cold is to talk in favor or against something at the same time. You are talking about something both in favor as well as against. That is to talk, to blow hot and cold. Blow one's trumpet is to continue to praise yourself. It is foolish to blow your own trumpet. It is foolish to praise yourself. Bolt from the blue means a sudden disaster, when something disastrous takes place suddenly. The news of my younger brother's death came to me as a bolt from the blue. It was a big disaster that came to us. Bury the hatchet is to leave the enmity. When you are an enemy of somebody and you decide to leave aside your animosity, that is to bury the hatchet. So the two neighbors have buried the hatchet and become friends again. Call to account is to take to task, to bring somebody to start working again or to assign some tasks to somebody. He will be called to account. Call to mind is to remember something. Call to mind the advice of your elders. So remember the advice of your elders. Castles in the air to build up some imaginary, wishes and some imaginary projects in your mind. It is no use building castles in the air. To make some imaginary projects or to create something is of no use. Come out with flying colors is to succeed gloriously, very beautifully. When you succeed, that is to come out with flying colors. Our enemy came out with flying colors in the Indo-Pak War. So they came out, they succeeded beautifully in the Indian-Pak War. Come to grief is to suffer some harm, to suffer some problem. You will come to grief if you do not serve your aged parents. You are going to get sad if you do not serve your aged parents. Crocodile tears is to pretend being sorrowful. Okay, to pretend being sad. So the stepmother shed crocodile tears on the death of her stepson. Cut to the quick is to make one feel bad or to hurt somebody intensely, to hurt somebody a lot. So the sister-in-law's taunting remarks cut him to the quick. They hurt him a lot. Cut a sorry figure is to create a bad impression about someone or something. She cut a sorry figure in her maiden performance on the stage. So she did not end up leaving a good impression on the people when it was the first time for her to go on the stage. Dog in the mango policy means the policy of a selfish man who refuses to allow his neighbor what he himself cannot use. So this is the policy which is made by somebody who's selfish in nature, wherein he refuses to allow his neighbor use something that he himself cannot use. For example, boys sometimes follow a dog in the manager policy when they neither use the playground themselves nor they let somebody else use it. The next one is face the music. To face the difficulties. If we do not face the music now, our problems will multiply in the days to come. If we do not face the difficulties now, our problems are going to multiply. Fair deal is the bargain, wherein both the parties are satisfied, are happy with the outcome. It would be fair deal if I pay back your money with interest in my thanks. So it will be a fair deal. We both are going to be happy if we pay our money with interest and my thanks. Fair weather man is a man in prosperity. Okay, a friend who is only there during your good time, not the bad time, is a fair weather friend. For example, it is better to be friendless than to have a fair weather friend. Fall short of is to be less than something. The new manager has fallen short of our expectations. He is not fulfilling our expectations to the fullest. Fall a prey to is to be involved in something. His brother fell a prey to a bad company, so he got himself involved in a bad company. Fall flat is to be ineffective when you are not effective any longer. All my advice fell flat on my younger brother. So whatever advices I gave, they did not leave any impact on my younger brother. Fall in love with is to be enamored. To fall in love with is a very easy and, a very self-understood proverb. So Salim fell in love with Noor Jahan at first sight. Far cry is something which is very far or very far from you to achieve or accomplish. The dream of total literacy in India is still a far cry. It is very difficult for one to achieve or to provide total literacy in the country. Find fault with is to blame somebody or to criticize somebody. The mistress of the household always finds fault with the maid servant. She always blames the maid servant. So These were the proverbs, the idiomatic expressions that again would help you to work on your language portion. So with this, my dear students, we come to the end of chapter 13, where we discussed about a few idiomatic expressions and a few phrasal verbs. So I will now pause here and will see you all in the next class.